All right, welcome back. So picture this, an AI that doesn't just wait for your command, but actually anticipates what you need. Sounds like sci-fi, right? Well, that's the future Amazon is building right now. Today, we're going to break down what this means for pretty much everyone in the cloud. Developers, analysts, you name it. We're talking about AI shifting from just a tool to a real partner. Let's dive in.
Okay, and this quote right here, it absolutely nails it. See, we've moved way past AI that just generates text, writing an email or a blog post. Now we're talking about an AI that can reason through data and then actually execute operations. It's about taking action. So what does that really look like when the rubber hits the road? Let's find out.
All right, first up, AI that reasons. So what do we even mean when we say an AI can reason? Well, it's about connecting the dots, right? It's about understanding the context of a problem and then figuring out how to solve it from start to finish. Let's make this real with a couple of day-in-the-life scenarios.
First up, let's talk about the data analyst, their new superpower. I mean, if you're an analyst, you're probably drowning in data, and the deadlines, they're always just around the corner. Sound familiar?
Yeah, we've all had that moment of panic, right? Your boss pings you. I need a full 5-page performance report, and I need it in the next 5 minutes. The meeting is starting, and you're just scrambling, trying to write SQL queries on the fly, slapping charts into a deck. It's a total race against time.
And this slide just shows you the whole story. On the left, the old way. A giant complex SQL query. I mean, you have to be an expert to even read that thing. But on the right, the new way. It's just a simple, plain English sentence, create a story about our Q3 regional performance. That's it. That's the power of Amazon Q. You're not coding anymore. You're just having a conversation. So how does it do this? Well, this is where it gets really, really cool. The tech behind it is called generative authoring. And the most important word there is generative, to create. Q isn't just digging around to find a dashboard that someone already built. No way. It is building a brand new one just for you from scratch right on the spot. And it's not just making a single chart either. When you ask Q for a data story, it kicks off this whole incredible workflow. First, it intelligently selects the most relevant visuals. Then, it actually writes a professional narrative to explain what you're seeing, to connect the dots. After that, it designs a clean, professional layout, and get this, it even provides a what-if section for forecasting. It's the whole shebang, a full presentation generated in just a few minutes. Insane.
And here's the real game changer, that 90%. Because you can just tell Q what you want in plain English. Show me sales by region. You're not stuck wrestling with code. And that means you're dodging 90% of those frustrating syntax errors. Just think about all the hours of debugging that just disappear.
Okay, so we've seen how this totally changes the game for analysts. But what about for engineers? For them, the stakes are way higher. We're not just talking about getting a report done on time. We're talking about keeping the lights on.
Yep, every engineer has lived this nightmare. It's 3 in the morning, your phone blows up with an alert. The site is down, and the pressure is on. You've got to find that one tiny needle in a massive haystack of logs and metrics, and every single second counts. This is where Amazon Q Developer comes in. And you got to think of it like this. It's your own personal Level 3 site reliability engineer, an SRE, an expert embedded right inside your AWS console, ready to jump in and figure out what on earth is going wrong. Usually, this is your starting point, right? Something cryptic and unhelpful like a 500 internal server error buried in gigabytes of logs. It tells you something is broken, but it gives you 0 clues about what or why. So instead of you having to manually dig through all of that, Q does the heavy lifting for you. You can literally just ask it, hey, why is this connection failing? And bam, it's off to the races, checking everything. Security group rules, network ACLs, route table entries, the whole network stack to pinpoint the exact problem. And this is the magic moment. It doesn't just spit back another error code. It tells you exactly how to fix it. In plain, human-readable English. No more guesswork. Something that used to be a multi-hour headache, pulling your hair out at 3 a.m., is now a quick, straightforward fix. So what's actually powering all of this incredible reasoning? Let's take a quick peek under the hood at the engine driving all these new capabilities. A brand new family of foundation models from Amazon called Nova. So this is the Nova family of models. And the key thing to get here is that it's not a one-size-fits-all deal. Not at all.
You've got different models for different tasks. So you've got Micro, which is built for pure speed and being super cost-effective. Then there's Lite, which is cool because it's multimodal. It can understand images and video, not just text. Pro is kind of the brains of the operation, with that advanced reasoning we've been talking about for solving those really tough problems. And finally, you have Premier. Think of it as the architect, with a massive context window for training other specialized models. It really is all about having the right tool for the right job.
Okay, so let's pull all this together and hit some of the practical questions you're probably thinking about. Like, what does this actually mean for your workflow and, your wallet? First big question, are you locked into the AWS ecosystem? I mean, what if all your precious data is sitting over in Snowflake or Salesforce?
Well, the good news is you're not locked in at all. As long as you can get your data connected to QuickSight, and that could be from another cloud or even from your own on-prem servers, Q can get in there and work its magic.
And what about the cost? Well, there's a free tier to get you started, which is great. But for the really powerful stuff we just saw, those deep, complex investigations, it's $19 a month. And honestly, when you think about the hours of work and the major headaches it saves, that feels like a pretty amazing deal.
And finally, let's be real. In a world with a ton of incredible AI models out there, why would you choose Nova?
Well, it really comes down to being inside the AWS ecosystem. Because these models are built right into AWS, they're just going to be faster and more cost-effective. You get the best price for the intelligence you're getting and the lowest latency because it's all running on the same platform. That native integration, that's the edge.
And that really leaves us with this one final thought. We've spent all this time talking about the technology, the how. But the real story, the exciting part, is what happens when all that tedious how stuff is automated. When your AI copilot can build the report or find the bug for you, you're suddenly free to focus on a much bigger question. What new amazing thing will you decide to build next?